Yeah, hey guys, it's NEcology. Just doing a quick video today because it's a beautiful afternoon. I figured I'd want to come out to the Cranberry Bog in my area. Such bogs occur quite frequently in the region of New England. Right in front of me, though, these are not cranberries. We got a couple of invasive species. You've got the Rosa multiflora there, the Japanese rose, and then there's that invasive silene too. That's actually not a silene at all. So we're gonna go walk down into the woods there, and we're gonna see what we can see. A bunch of dragonflies flying around right now. Yeah, here's a better look at that rose. Rosa multiflora, Japanese rose, Oriental rose, goes by a couple of different names. I'm not sure if it's technically classified as invasive, but I mean, you can see how it just, that's 15 feet up a tree, and you can see it wrapping itself around what looks like some sort of birch tree here. But that's not what we're here to see. We're going to go look at some cranberries that are hopefully in bloom. And as we're walking down this path here, yeah, take a note of some other stuff that's growing. This doesn't look like I don't know, I think that guy spent whatever he was. But, we're going to take a look at the cranberries they got down here. And the thing with cranberries specifically, cranberries in, oh, what's that? Oh, that's nice. What are you, a geranium? Some sort of geranium here. Not sure which one. I'll put the key down there. A beautiful one, though. Coming up with some, looks like barberry. Not nearly as beautiful. Even the not native geraniums don't get too invasive. I think this one's a native one. I just see the one guy sitting here. But I'll key that out because I got a good key for geraniums. But, yeah. Oh, that's nice. Who doesn't love a good geranium? But, we're going to keep walking. Actually, I'm going to take a picture of this, so I'll stop for a second. But, let me explain how we can get a picture on the way out. I'm very, yeah, there's some more of that geranium. I'm very indecisive today, aren't I? So a lot of these cranberry bogs formed due to no one's surprise by glaciation of the region. And there's that silene. It's not a silene. I forget the scientific name. It was formerly placed in the genus silene. It's pretty. They call it ragged robin. Remember the Caryophyllaceae family? But I'm just seeing all sorts of good stuff. I'm not even going to explain what I'm trying to explain. So let me stop and explain. In the field of I think it's like lychus or something, whatever this genus is. But anyway, okay, we're going to pause. So cranberry bogs in New England were largely formed by glacial forces, much like everything you see in the modern geology of New England. Basically what happened was as the ice was scraping away, the soil and everything, it was leaving behind these what were essentially called kettle holes. Mosquito on me. And those kettle holes were basically nice round basins where water, but more importantly silt and organic matter would accumulate. And what resulted is basically these areas where topographically speaking, don't look any different or any more sunken than the area around them, but underneath the soil underneath is essentially just a pit of anoxic organic matter, lacking oxygen, lacking nutrients, that's just not breaking down, essentially becoming what's known as peat. And on top of those areas of peat is a good location to grow things. A lot of species in Ericaceae, a lot of species that specialize in those nutrient-poor environments do absolutely fantastically in those areas. That's what we're going to go look at today. Lots of members of Ericaceae do that, of which cranberry is. Cranberry is actually in the same genus as blueberry, vaccinium, and hopefully some other cool, bog-loving plants. Good geranium, lots of purple blended in with that. I'm just going to keep calling it a silene because I don't care. It's not native. And then behind me is what appears to be a sassafras tree with those three-lobed leaves. Never actually. Oh, it's fuzzy. Feels nice and soft. Everything's covered in pollen. We have pollen so bad right now. It actually looks like it was looking like a wildfire was going on the other day. Could this be a that's something else, but that's what do they call it? A slippery elm, maybe? I'm not sure. I'm actually not too sure. I keep seeing things that I think are elms, and we do get elms, including the slightly rare American elm. Well, not rare, but suffering from dieback. But yeah, that's a sassafras. That's a sassafras, has that really distinct three-lobed leaves. Not flowering yet. I don't know if it already flowered, or I don't think it did. I think these flower a little bit later in the year. But you know, I'm gonna take pictures on the way back because I want to cover this stuff on the video first. There's that geranium again. Those are really pretty. Okay, let's go. Let's go look at some cranberries. So here's something I had seen behind work, and I thought it was a different species. What I thought this was a species of panax, a species of ginseng. What this actually is a species of something called Aurelia. It's in the carrot family. This is Aurelia nudicaulis. And back there, I might have misspoke looking at that tree, and I might have said sarsaparilla. It was a sassafras tree. This is commonly known as wild sarsaparilla. And as you can see, it just shoots up from the ground there. It's got a little array of leaves. Usually has 3 of these rackees of 5 leaves each. And then the inflorescence is down here. You know, could you say compound umbel? Is this technically a compound umbel? Not sure. But you can see how this could, you know, be considered to be in the carrot family.
It's not in the carrot family.
Done, and they get little berries on them when they go to seed and go to fruit. Interesting plant, not what I thought it was. And then over here, we've got a Vaccinium corymbosum. I believe Vaccinium. Maybe not. This doesn't feel like a blueberry, but something in the maybe blueberry. But definitely something related to Ericaceae. Something in the genus Vaccinium. All right, we're gonna keep going. Well, he's not looking too good, but we got a member of the lily family down here, commonly known as Indian cucumber root, and the root is in fact edible and does taste like cucumber. We have a little species, or not a species of, but we have a Medeola virginiana, and with the flower that looks like it's seen better days. But regardless, pretty distinct plant, hard to miss. Only member of the genus in the area, and I'm not sure if the genus is monotypic. It'll shoot up from the ground here, from its little taproot. It'll have a whorl of leaves, then it will have another stem, and then usually another whorl of 3 leaves at the top, and then the flowers come out nodding from that top inflorescence. Pretty cool plant. I see them a lot bigger up in the mountains. I don't see them that often, and they don't get too big down here where we are. And of course, we're in Middlesex County, Massachusetts. But yeah, just a little guy. He looks like he's seen better days, though. I did tell you we were going to be seeing a lot of members of the family Ericaceae going through and doing this, and we've got a beautiful one right here with a guy in there. This is a species of Kalmia, and I believe this is Calmia Polifolia, not angustifolia, which is a little bit more common. This is the bog laurel, not the sheep laurel. And the reason why you can tell the difference is because this guy here has got the opposite foliage instead of whorled foliage like you'd see on latifolia, or I'm sorry, angustifolia. Actually, those might be, no, these are whorled. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'll take a couple pictures and I'll figure it out later. But definitely one of the handful of species of Kalmia we get all of which are beautiful. You get a couple different ones up in the mountains, and you get a couple different ones down here in the boggy areas. But wonderful plant, beautiful, and something you could grow in your garden feasibly, pretty easily if you live up here. And they have them readily available, a few different species of them. Okay, I just happened to cross a couple real nice things at the same time. Down here we've got everybody's favorite orchid, Cypripedium acaule, which I saw a couple weeks ago. Just always got the 2 basal leaves, pretty you know, pretty tough, growing up the stem. And then of course we have your trademark cypripedioid flower with the little pouch there. Pollinators got to get up in there, contact the 2 anthers. And Cypripedium orchids don't actually have a pollinia like many other orchids do. They actually have 2 anthers in there. You get the 3 sepals, bract subtending that inflorescence there, and just a really cool flower, one of my favorites. Like I said, you know, a lot of people lose their mind when they see these because they think that they're rare. They're actually really common, and contrary to the old wives' tale, they're neither endangered, and they're not endangered anywhere in New England, and similarly not illegal to pick, although you shouldn't, because you shouldn't. And if you try to transplant it, it will most likely die, removed from its native habitat here. This guy's tapped into the fungus in the ground, and if you disturb the root system or move it to an area where that, symbiotic fungi is not present, it will die. And then over here, I found a big patch of that Kalmia species. Yeah, sorry, again, I screwed it up. This is Calmia angustifolia. Latifolia would have white flowers, and then Polifolia would have much smaller opposite leaves. There's also Procumbens, which looks nothing like any of the three. It's just a very small Sassafras alpine plant. I'm also saying at this point in the video that Kalmia is much closer to rhododendron than either of the two of them are to blueberries. That's true. Kalmia is in the subfamily Ericoideae, and then blueberries are in Vaccinioideae. Sorry. It's forming a nice mat here in the understory, growing along with its relatives, these different species of Vaccinium. And if my eyes didn't deceive me, up over here, oh yeah, right over there. I'm not going to walk off the trail and be a jerk, but there's a few more of those Cypripedium orchids growing right up there. Oh, and there's some kind of, oh yeah, they're everywhere over here. The bird, there's a couple over there. Very cool, very nice. I kind of went on a little side step here. Oh, look at this. Could this be a juvenile chestnut that they planted out? Castanea dentata. It's got the right leaf shape. Dentate margin, certainly not a beech tree. Maybe this is a juvenile chestnut tree. You won't ever see them too terribly big, but they are planting them out. But they usually get knocked back by chestnut blight before they have the chance to get too big. And actually, you know what? I'm not gonna go too far down in here, just because I don't want to disturb whatever's growing down there. So we'll turn around and we'll keep going up the other direction. Yeah, it's pretty nice. You got what appears to be a beaver dam out there. I heard something jump into the water. No idea if it was a beaver or not. Does not look like it. No, what I heard jump in the water was I don't know if you can see them. Oh, there are some wood ducks, not a beaver. I don't want to mess with beavers. They look like they got sharp teeth. I wish I could get close to show you, but blooming in this pond, these, you get the so-called lily pads, which do not belong to any member of the lily family. You've got a few species in the family, Nymphaceae. You've got Nuphar, the so-called pond lilies, and then you've got Nymphea, specifically Nymphea odorata, and probably Nuphar variegata, the yellow pond lily, yellow variegated pond lily, and then the oh geez, what's the, I don't even know the common name for Nymphea odorata, but it's usually would be called a water lily. And there's a blue heron way over there that you probably can't see. This is a beautiful little pond right here. I'm seeing a ton of that Calmia latifolia along this trail I'm walking on. Some right in front of me. Tons of blueberries. Tons of pines and oaks, as could be expected in a damp environment like this. And so far, so good. Lots of good stuff. I didn't really know what to expect. We're only maybe, I don't know, a few minutes from my house. And I haven't come out this way ever. So I'll see what I can see. And if I see anything else cool, which I suspect I will. Remember, we're still looking for those cranberries, my friend. I'll report back. And there's plenty of that Laurel. There's a couple birds. Oh, it's a titmouse. What are you doing? I don't know what that was about. It dive bombed me. Actually, I can kind of, I don't want to crack out. I'm being horrible. There's one of those what the hell is making that noise? Oh, this is such a cool little place. I'm gonna be coming here a lot more often. But yeah, there's a water lily right there. Nymphea odorata, the white water lily. Ancient lineage of, God, something's making like a mating call over there. Ancient lineage of flowering plants. They've been around for a long time. They predate, to my knowledge, they actually predate the differentiation between monocots and dicots, which is a major distinguishing point between, flowering plants. God, that is weird as shit. I do not know what's making that noise. Oh, there go the ducks. All right, let's get ourselves out of this embankment here and back on the path. All right, I've seen this a couple times now. Just these, I think these are white oaks. These oaks with these weird ass growths on them. I thought it might have been fungus for a minute, but I think that's an insect making that. Some sort of insect gall going all the way down. No goddamn clue what those could be. And oh, that guy's done. A couple more of those Cypripedium acaule orchids. These ones don't look good, but that one over there is doing great. There's another one. Like I said, these aren't rare. They're amazing. Don't get me wrong. One of my favorite plants. But I'd like to destroy the notion that Cypripedium acaule is some sort of rare, prized orchid, because get a lot of orchids in New England, and so far this year, I've come across Cypripedium acaule about a dozen times, and none of the other orchids. So what does that tell you about its relation to the other? Again, not shaming, not plant shaming the poor orchid. It's a beautiful plant, one of my favorites. But no, it's not rare. It's really not that rare of a plant. At least not up here. In some states, it's rare. It's listed as endangered in a couple states, but not here. Got some buttercups, some ranunculaceae action. What appears to be maybe a cherry. I'm not too good with my rosaceae. On all honesty, I'm just not that into them yet. Maybe someday. There's too many of them are ornamental for me to sit down and think about. I'd rather just avoid them, which I guess makes me cowardly, but you know what? I'll take it. A nice shot over the pond. Yeah, here's some of those. So now those are the yellow pond lilies. That's Nufar out there, not Nymphea. Different genus of aquatic plant. Also commonly called a water lily, having no relation to lilies. We got something real nice right here, and I can't get up close to it without falling in the water. We got a nice iris. We've got a iris versicolor here. The northern blue flag, as it's called. Growing right on the bank of the pond here. Beautiful. I mean, you see irises planted out all over the place, but they're not non-native. This is a native species of iris. Most of the ones we get up here are blue, and you'll see yellow irises. You'll see real fancy, European and Middle Eastern ones planted. But this is a humble iris versicolor. Family is Iridaceae, and this is exactly where you'd expect to see it growing. I also was able to get closer to one of those Nufar species right in bud. Not open. I'm gonna find one open, I swear. It's gonna happen. But for now we'll settle for that. Man, beautiful iris though. In a beautiful area. So the blue jays are going crazy, and I was wondering why they was going crazy. And then I looked up and there's a goddamn fucking owl right there. So that's why the blue jays, you can hear them, are upset. They don't like the fact that there's an owl right here. And I'm getting eaten alive by mosquitoes, but I'll tell you what, this was a cool day to come out. Look at that guy. Are you in distress, sir? Are these blue jays giving you a hard time? I don't like the blue jays that much either. He's looking right at me. Oh God, I wonder what kind of owl that is. I don't know. I'm not a good ornithologist, but I'd say I don't want to disturb the guy, but clearly these blue jays are intent on not letting him rest at all. Yeah, there's some more of those irises right there. Beautiful. I think we're getting down near I think this is where they get the cranberries, down over here. So we're gonna go take a look at that. But man, nice to see irises in their native habitat instead of planted outside of somebody's house. So this is the Cranberry Bog here, and I'm looking down. Oh, hello. I'm looking down. I don't see any of them flowering, but we got a milkweed here ready to go. Sorry. That's okay. Yeah. Numerous members of the Fabaceae. We got clovers growing, a couple different species I've seen. plantain, English plantain, I think. Poison ivy, of course. I seen where was it? This other species of pea, the purple guy there. No clue what that is. I'm bad with my my plants in Fabaceae as well. But what we're standing on a raised bed above the surrounding area. Functionally, what happens here is these would all go to bloom, to fruit, of which the fruit is obviously the cranberry, and then they would fill these patties up with water, which would cause the fruit to float to the surface, and then they can drain it and strain the fruit out of the water as it goes. And this is the way that cranberries have been harvested in the area for quite a while. I got no idea what this pea is. I don't spend too much time on the peas, especially, you know, and you can tell, come on, you know, you can tell it's a pea because it's got the papillinaceous flower and then that fine, heavily divided foliage, unmistakably something in the family Fabaceae. And there's that other species of clover. Trifolium is the genus on the clover, and just a ton of Asclepias. Get some members of the carrot family here, which I'm always hesitant to touch because a lot of them are pretty poisonous. You know, obviously you don't want to involve that in your life, but you know, even if these guys were blooming, I don't think there's any way to really, you know, get down there to see them without trampling the crop. And even then, I don't even know if I'm looking at an active area of growth right now. I don't know if they're growing anything in this particular bog. I don't really know how the whole system works, as you know, as relevant to oh, you got a little daisy coming up there, perhaps a Symphyotrichum, one of the dozens of species of Symphyotrichum. I mean, lots of good stuff. Just nothing I was particularly looking for over here. I saw a lot more stuff that I knew back in the woods. Yeah, this is all milkweed, all getting ready to burst. Maybe the butterflies will descend upon it. But I don't know, I might check out a couple more things. If I see anything else worth pointing out, I'll be sure to tag it in or put it in. You know what I mean. But yeah, I'm going to take a walk around here, see what I can see. And if I happen to catch a cranberry in bloom, I'll be sure to show you that. And if not, we'll take a nice little walk back in the car. Hello there, guy. I'm going to make this quick just because I'm getting eaten alive by mosquitoes. You're pretty cute. Are you an eastern painted turtle? I think you are. Do you like the bog? Cranberry bog? Do you eat cranberries? Alright, I'm sorry for disturbing you. We're gonna be on our way right now. Okay, so last thing, I wanted to stop back by the sassafras here. So one thing I forgot to mention is that this is the only other species in the only other genus. By the way, the scientific name of this plant is Sassafras Albedium. Excuse me if I sound a little rushed. I'm getting devastated by mosquitoes. And this is the only other species in the family Lauraceae, the laurel family, where we get avocados from, and bay leaves and stuff like that. That grows in New England in the Northeast. Sassafras Albedium, the other one being Lindera benzoin, which I don't know if that video is up yet, but I'll be editing that one together really soon, which is another really interesting plant. I think more interesting than the sassafras, but the sassafras tends to get, you know, more of the recognition due to its history being involved with beverages. And of course, like all plants in the laurel family, take a little tiny bit of that foliage and crush it up. It smells amazing. It smells actually quite like the Lindera, just not as strong as the Lindera benzoin, the spice bush, which would probably grow in a habitat like this, but I don't know if the soil here is rich enough for it. All right, that's really it. I gotta go buy a bottle of calamine lotion and slather myself up with it because I got absolutely feasted upon. Take it easy, guys.